Quick reminder, in this tutorial, we'll be using a hot glue gun, so please handle with care. Enjoy this free tutorial and follow along step by step. Okay, so let's continue. We are going to add the arm covers. We got the bicep and forearms. You should have two pieces that look like this. This is the one that I already did. This is one arm that we're going to go ahead and mimic on the other arm. And this is one that I parsed from another action figure. As you can see, we have the hand already attached, so you can visually see what's going on here. We are going to actually attach it to the right arm, because this is the left arm we've already done. We're going to take this piece, so you should have this piece right here. We'll take this stuff off the screen, start with the forearm, which is basically this piece that was fold traced and fold cut. Go ahead and start with this. We are going to apply everything on an outwardly appearance going inward towards the body. So if this is the outward part of the bicep going this way, this is the outside of the body. The cover is going to go on the outside of the body this way, wrapping inwardly. And if it's going the other way, it's going to flip over and do the exact opposite. Basically, this piece right here is made ambidextrous for either arm. We're going to go ahead and concentrate on the right arm. So this is going to go outwardly and it's going to wrap in like this. Just like this. Also, we're going to attach it to this old piece right here so that you can have a better visual representation of the hand being on the wrist or the forearm, the whole entire arm here. Usually I would just go ahead and line it up without the hand, but since I have a piece that actually has the hand already attached, it's more visually ideal to show you on camera here. Now, this one's a little bit roughed up because I did remove it or peel it off another action figure, which there are going to be more tutorials along the way to help you disassemble your action figures in case you have something go wrong, like the wire joint breaks and you have to replace it, or something happens with the cover. But anyway, let's go ahead and add this arm. This is the right arm. Go ahead and plop this on this side, which is the right side, and this forearm is going to rest right on top so that this part can wrap over just this way. So again, we're putting it right on this side, the right side, not the left side, but the right side. Keep in mind this is 1.5 inches long. So basically the wrist is going to go right on the edge of the outside. So if we remember, we're going to go ahead and put a strip of glue right here, and this is going to be a full trigger pump of glue. Like I went ahead and pumped the whole entire glue right out from the nozzle. I did prime it off camera, by the way. Rest this down right on top, and we're going to make sure that the wrist evenly matches up with the edge of this. Now off camera I can see that it's lining up perfectly, and I'm going to go ahead and just fold and mold this and just kind of like shimmy it in my fingers just like this. That feels good because I'm folding and molding this right onto the arm cover. So now we have a good tight seal on that, and that dried pretty quickly. So now that we glued the under part of the forearm closer to the elbow, concentrate on this back piece here. Now I don't know if you can see it, but I labeled these parts here. We got 1, 2, and 3. The 1 is okay, there we go. So we got 1, 2, and 3. So 2 is going to be this little elbow tag right here on the back side where the tricep is. Now, since it's going to be on the right, I'm going to put R for right, okay, just so that we can see this. This is the right arm. It's going to be on this tag right here going towards the right of the camera. So there we go. This little slit right here on the design I want us to concentrate on, because we're going to go ahead and put this right on over here and draw a little line here. Kind of hard to see, but I can see it. There's a little tiny line that we drew, and we're gonna actually cut that little line, okay? And we stopped right where it ended. There's a reason for that, because we're gonna actually fold this over and let these two outer points meet up. It doesn't matter which one, just pick one. Go ahead and put a little tiny dollop of glue right here. Wisp that off of there. We're gonna meet corner to corner, right? Corner to corner, like that. Gonna go ahead and push this mountain peak down, and this in essence is going to be a little bit of the upper elbow. Now that is already dried. We're gonna take the arm here and we're gonna bend it all the way up, almost so that the bicep and the forearm are almost touching, because this is gonna go ahead and meet it up this way like this. The reason why we want to do that is because so we add a little extra slack in the actual elbow joint. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. We're gonna put some glue right here. Half trigger pump of glue and a little bit in here, inside here, and get that prepped. Go ahead and cup this up and boom, right on here. Go ahead and fold and mold. It's going to leak out a little bit, and if you don't mind the hot glue, or you can bring your parchment paper back on the scene, that can help out. with the gluing process. I've done this so many times that it just doesn't matter. Like, I'm used to the heat. Got that secured on there because when we bring this back down, it's going to allow this joint to really become a joint. That's number 2 with the little slit right here. So yeah, let's keep moving and grooving. Before we move on to step 3, which is right here, PCO on the elbow, which is phase 3 or part 3, go ahead and put a little bit of glue right on the underside of this forearm. Go ahead and lock this in, because we'll detail that part of it. Parchment paper back on the seam. We're going to roll this up and just really tightly lock this in underneath the forearm. Just kind of like smoothing it on the bottom side here. That's going to well out on the underside. That's okay because that's going to be rolled over. That's going to flap over like this here. Now we're going to be concentrating on number 3, which is right here. On this under flap near the elbow, go ahead and add some glue. Tighten that up. Close that on in. While we do that, we'll lock our arm up like this and just really close that on in. Push that on in and then lock it up like this because we want to close the gap on this inner elbow right here. That's all we're doing here. Let that dry and let that be. And this top part, which is the same, remember the PCO right here? Just an update here. I was going to instruct you on doing a PCO, which means you're going to be cutting off one of these sides. We're not going to be doing that anymore. This is going to be an update, okay? Top part, we would have potentially cut off right along this fold line, but we're not going to do that. Put some glue underneath this fold, like this. Fold it on over just like that. We're going to put some glue under this PCO as well, so these are actually just going to be folds now. And of course this is a green color because I'm working on another action figure, and just close it off just like this. We're just going to finish the fold, finish the gluing, and just connect these arm covers. Full trigger pump of glue right on in here. And I'm going to go ahead and just roll this on over as tight as possible, closing up these gaps because these folds are actually turning into little arm seams. It's a lot neater this way rather than cutting it, okay? So let's keep moving and grooving. Let's go ahead and finish this top part, which is basically on top of the bicep. Let's go ahead and move this tab back, put some glue on it, and keep in mind we do have this arm straightened out. See how it's straight? And we're going to go ahead and put this down, except we're going to push it a little bit forward. Can you see me pushing it forward a little bit? Just a little bit, probably like millimeters. And we're going to wrap it around the bicep. And the reason why, so that when we bend the arm, we have a little bit of slack on the lower part of the bicep. And this is all going to be covered up with the actual bicep cover. And now we are done. We can pay attention to detailing all this other stuff here later, like taking our blade and just scraping away all this stuff here. We can even bring back our handy Sharpie and then just touch it up. But let's go ahead and move on to the actual bicep cover here, okay? Let's keep rolling. Add the bicep cover. Remember this guy? Let's go back to that. Bring back some newspaper coupon junk mail. Check this out. Just gonna need a little bit. Taking one piece here. Basically, we're gonna reinforce this shoulder, round this out a little bit with this junk mail. Go ahead and just put a little strip of glue and then fold slap it. Remember fold slapping, everybody? Fold slap. Fold slap it this way. Fold slapping it. I don't know why I call it fold slap. That's kind of dumb, but I'm sticking with it. Fold slapping it one more time this way. Now that we've done this a couple times, we're going to go ahead and put a dollop of glue right on this round part of the fold slap. See how I rounded this out? Now we're going to force this on down here in the shoulder. And all we're doing is we're just folding and molding, and we're really reinforcing this shoulder. We're actually rounding it onto the table and making this shoulder really shine. Like he's been doing a lot of deltoid exercises, and yeah, you got it. You know where this is going. There we go. This is nice and hard. I like that. We are going to need to put the sidearm pocket just below the deltoids, right around here. On the flight jacket, it does have a little sidearm pocket that you can put pens, things inside, little trinkets. You have a design that looks like this. This is 1 inch this way and a ½ inch this way. It's very tiny. Grab yourself a writing utensil, okay? We're going to be doing this on food box cardstock, everybody, okay? Not regular grocery bag paper stock, because we do need it a little bit thicker and kind of poking out at you. Durable. I'm just Dick tracing this action. Okay, let's go ahead and cut this out. Now, as you can see, it's a different color because I am working on another action figure. The coat that I'm wearing on this other action figure also has a sidearm pocket. I'm going to go ahead and color this the same color. And we can go ahead and just draw on a zipper. I'm just going to be real quick about this. Remember, 16-bit world we're living in, everybody. And I'll just put some stitching on here. Okay, just some stitching on here like that, and we can go ahead and attach this onto the arm. Go ahead and grab your wire nippers. They're going to make 2 small cut incisions. We already glued the fork taper here, but if you want to on the nether action figure, before you actually glue the fork taper in here, you can actually fit that tab right inside this fork taper before, so we don't have to make an upper incision, but we already closed that off. I'm going to make 2. Below that, I'm just going to kind of bend fold this right when it's touching each other. Just make a slit right here, just making sure that this can fit in there, and it can. We're going to go ahead and mark this right about here, right about there, and make another slit with our wire nippers, just like this. Bend folded it together to kind of make a longer slit, and then we can go ahead and shove this right in there. And we'll do the same thing with like this. Lock this chicken clown down, alright? What we're going to do is just put some hot glue right in the middle of these tabs, right there. A little on top of this tab right there, and then just lock it down. Parchment paper. And that's all we're doing. A 16-bit 3D effect, alright? Anyway, we locked it in. Now we can add it to the arm. Okay, so let's go ahead and add this on. Just kind of dry fit it and eyeball it. We need these 2 little flaps right here kind of hanging in the wind here. And because this is going to actually wrap around the straw bone. And so now that it looks pretty good, we can go ahead and add some glue into this here. I'm going to do 1 full trigger pump and another full trigger pump right around and down the outside of this arm here. And we're going to go ahead and pop this on in here, right up into the inside crevice of the shoulder and right along the outside right here, the outer banks of this arm. Folding and molding, we're pushing along and letting that glue really squish in the insides, because right when we actually add some force, it's like squishing along the inner walls. And now that we've done that, this bottom fold here we have the top of the arm, so the bottom one's going to be folded up inside first. Half a trigger pump, not even a full trigger pump, and we're wisping it all on the inside of this bottom flap. Gently roll this up here underneath this underarm here, making sure that every nook and cranny of the arm gets a section of this roll up here. Let's bring back our parchment paper, use that to assist in the drying process. Compare and make sure that both sides look good in terms of the width. Half trigger pump right here, all on every part of this section here. Gently and nicely roll this on over like this, really delicately, and then pushing on, especially the bottom parts here, and just really folding and molding every section so that every inch of that glue, every centimeter, every millimeter of that glue gets pasted on that side, pairing that, and they look the same. Alright, and now all we really need to do is just add these straw bones here onto the shoulder joints and get this attached onto the torso mid-body section here. So we have the arms right here, and as you can see I have 2 pieces of McDonald's straw. I already cut them down to size. I'm not going to show you how to do that. Do that on your own, but as you can see, 2 pieces of 1 inch. Well, that's a little bit longer, but roughly around an inch. Before we attach them, we're going to concentrate on these shoulder wire joints. Go ahead and talk about this one here. We got the right arm. We're going to go ahead and just drive into the straw and kind of talk about that for a second here. The straw is going to go closer to the armpit, and right where we see these shoulder flaps, those are meaningful here. These are going to actually wrap around the straw once we're ready to go and do that. But it's also adding a little bit of a measurement tool here, because we want to go ahead and go flush up against the shoulder, go up maybe about a ½ inch from the edge line from this part here. As you can see, the straw kind of disappear in there. That's where we want to stop. So now we can see the wire joint coming out the other end. We want to address that because now we want to actually curl the eye loop and grip tip up into the wire joint, making it a little bit shorter here. And that's where our needle nose pliers are going to come in, because all we're going to do, tweak these up into itself like this, and also bring back this grip tip as well. Bend this grip tip up in here, and we're going to clamp everything together, right? We're going to smush everything together with the nutcracker part of the needle nose pliers. I'm not even sure what this is called. Jaws, the teeth, but whatever. We're using that to kind of clamp everything up and kind of oval things out. We're going to go ahead and take our same straw here and dry fit it again. We want to have a little bit of looseness down here, because I'm going to go ahead and take about 1/4 of an inch bottom part of the straw, and that's about 1/4 of an inch right there, and we're going to make a little bit of a T-cut. What I mean by that, see where my thumb is, see where we're going to be cutting a cut line here. We're not going to cut all the way through the straw, actually take about half of the straw, and I'm going to pinch it like this here, and right where the middle is, we're going to just snip it right there once. Right? And right on the line here, thank you McDonald's for making stripes on your straws. McDonald's, Del Taco, whichever straw you decide, these little lines help you out. Right where we made the cut, we're going to make a snip right here. And yes, we made a T-cut. That's what that is for. It's a T-cut. We can open that up. That's going to come into play in just a few moments here. I'm going to hold this in my left hand and actually apply it with my right hand holding the arm. Usually I do it reverse, but it's going to be a lot easier with my hot glue gun to show you this way. So whether you're right-handed or left-handed, keep in mind you can do this off camera, whichever you feel most comfortable. As you can see, I'm opening up this T-cut to make it a flap like this. Go ahead and take our parchment paper piece, put our thumb inside the parchment paper and flush onto the T-cut flap here, because we're going to be putting some hot glue in here, and obviously we don't want hot glue pouring out the other side here. I'm going to go ahead and prime my hot glue gun off camera and obviously saturate the grip tip that we bent down, and we're going to go ahead and put a half trigger pump here, and we're going to put a full trigger pump inside here. Alright, that was a full trigger pump. Let's go ahead and put this right down on in here. I can feel that eye loop and grip tip hit the tip of my thumb, so I know that that's where I need to stop, and I'm going to go ahead and let that dry. The straw bone should be flush up against this part right here of the shoulder. We're going to go ahead and let that dry, and around this, and keeping our parchment paper on this end of it, we're going to just twist and shout a little bit so that the straw bone connects around the wire joint here. So this is all dried up on. Keep in mind, as we can see, this T-cut flap is actually on top of the top side of the shoulder here, and it kind of curved down towards the hand. Okay, now let's attach it to the shoulder pits right here. Remember the I-beam divot cut out? We're going to attach it right on here. Basically, we're dry fitting and it's go exactly right in here. How this T-cut flap goes under this part of the chest right here, that's what we want. Let's do it. I'm priming my hot glue gun off camera here, and we're going to put one full trigger pump right in this crevice from the top to the bottom. And let's go ahead and take this and smash it right down in here, just like this. And see how it fits perfectly right down into the socket here, and see how the upper part of the shoulder fits right into this slant of the chest here. That's what we want. If all goes well, it should look like this. We have the T-cut flap just hanging out, and that's going to come in play in a second here. We also have these two little armpit flaps, which we'll deal with that in a couple seconds. It should feel really good, and if we're swashing pretty good, all this glue that we put right inside the foam inside here is making its way and squashing around the straw bone. I can already feel it drying up. I'm going to go ahead and bring this arm up like he's raising his arm up into the sky, and I'm going to go ahead and let that dry. Go ahead and kind of address these two little flaps here. These are going to be the armpit covers here, and it's also going to secure onto the straw bone inside here. Let's put a little bit of glue right here. A pin drop of glue, not very much. We're going to start with one flap here, closing that off. Put another pin drop of glue right here on the armpit, and we're going to finally close this off here, just like that. Doesn't take much glue. Go ahead and just close that off, because that's going to be a little bit of coverage. It's more of like a vanity thing, covering up the armpit. And now we want to address this T-cut flap. That's feeling good. It's feeling pretty solid. It's drying pretty good. This is the cool part about this T-cut flap, because it's going to rip up underneath this chest and add some more solid support. You just put a half trigger pump of glue right underneath the chest here, taking our parchment paper, and we're going to roll that up underneath this chest right here. Can we see what's happening here? And I'm going to go ahead and push down, force it down to Chinatown. And we're just going to go ahead and let that dry there. That's adding a little bit more support. Check that out. Well, we're not done yet. Grab our rag cloth onto the seam. Go ahead and cut off a little strip, probably about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. It's not going to be much, but it's going to be about that much, okay? And now underneath here we're going to just add this piece of rag cloth to the very bottom part here, and that was a half trigger pump of glue, everybody, right here on the bottom. And we're going to go ahead and just add this right below the armpit here, and we're just adding that little extra inch of support. Okay, bring our parchment paper back on the scene and check that out. That's all we're doing. So this arm's on there pretty good now. Check that out. We've got a solid T-flap connection here, the rag cloth connection here, and all this hot glue on the inside of the straw bone. These little flaps here, the armpit flaps, caused a little bit of a vanity coverage on the top and the bottom where the armpits are. Now I'm going to do the same thing with this arm here. Probably do that off camera. So yeah. Let's keep going. For the next few minutes here, I'm gonna be doing the other arm on camera so you can actually see me doing it. I know that I've been only doing one side of each limb or even one foot or one hand. I'm not gonna really have any tutorial commentary, but you can play back this as many times as you want or need. It's kind of rinse and repeat, so you can put it in your head that both sides need to be done mirrored from each other. So whether you're left-handed or right-handed, you can get used to doing two separate limbs or two separate feet or two separate hands on either side. Enjoy this part of it just for a few moments while I just kind of glue this other arm onto the chest. Go ahead and wisp away some excess glue here. Since you as a student have been working with the version that has no hands attached, and in the video we were working with the version that had the hands, moving forward from here on out, I'm going to show you how to attach the hands onto the wrist here now that we've added the arm covers. So let's get going. Let's go ahead and glue some hands on. As you know already, I do update as I go. If it looks different up here, don't worry about the arms and the upper torso. So this is an older version. We're just going to mainly be concentrating on attaching the hands to the wrist. We've got our hand. We have him making an angry fist. Okay, so let's just go ahead and make sure we have the correct hands on the correct sides. It's going to be real simple. Prime it by putting glue on the eye loop of the hands or the wrist. We're going to just go ahead and put once, twice. That's all we're doing. 2 times, everybody. Plopping this in there. Gonna have some well out. That's okay. Let's wisp this away with our parchment paper. And keep in mind, we're pushing all the way in, and this part of the thumb, this arch of the thumb, is going to be right aligned to the forearm going straight up to the camera, as you can see. That's how we're putting this hand on. We're going to go ahead and let it dry. And we're going to do the other one. This one, we're going to do rocker hands. We're going to rock it out. Darkness imprisoning me. All that I... Okay, Metallica, let's just keep going. Same thing over here, priming the pump right in the eye loop. And we're going to go 1 trigger pump, 2 trigger pumps. That was actually about 1.5 actually. Slam-a-jamma this on in. You're going to have some well out. That's okay. Wherever it wells out, just go ahead and take your parchment paper and correct it. Right? And we're going to swashbuckle that around, pushing that all the way up in there. Because then we're going to clean it up later. Let that dry, everybody.